What is up, boys and girls, ladies and gentlemen, day traders, cloud swing traders? Hope you guys are doing absolutely fantastic. Hope you guys are feeling good. I'm Ms. in the house. Good morning to you. Good morning to Al, Albert, Anna. We got Andy in the house. Good morning to Bill. Uh, B. Keith. That's what I got. Good morning to you. We got Sydney, Emily, Georgie is in the house. Good morning to GW, Jeff. We got Jeff, Jeffrey. All the Jeffs are here. Justin. Good morning to you. Good morning to Kevin, Lou, Malik, Marius, Rob, Shane. We got all the Shanes are here. We got two Shanes. Good morning to both of you. We got Tim in the house. All my people out of YouTube land. Clarice, Leonard, Richard, Jet, M, Sky, DHC, Currency. What's up? We got William in the house. Good morning to all of you. LC is here. All my lurkers in the background of YouTube that just don't want to say nothing ever. It's okay. I still love you. Hit that like and subscribe buttons. But yeah, we let's start. Let's look at this monthly candle. Pretty phenomenal so far. So the question is, can we close at an all-time high? Last month we closed at let's see, the closing price was 60 no, that was the high was 609.07, so that's what we got to get to hit all-time highs in the market to close or to close at all-time highs when we opened here. This would be 602.97. We want to stay above. And inside candle for the month, just lots of chop. I'd be very curious to see if this 2025 year is just one big inside chop fest until we get some of those moving averages that catch up. That would still set us up for a really, really good push in the market eventually, but we are still very far away from the 20, and I'd be a little curious to see if we're just going to chop this year until and in 2026 we end up breaking out for some massive moves. We will see. Otherwise, no real pullbacks since the last one of October 2023, and we look like we're just going to continue that unless we get some crazy closing today, closing prices. We end negative for the month. It doesn't look like that's the case. Right now, pre-market is gapping up into some resistance. We also have a retest gap from yesterday. I think, and you got all of that resistance that we're opening into 607.74, somewhere up there from back in December 16th. This is probably a fadeable gap today. We'll see what happens. Maybe some profit taking. Again, we just the month itself was wild. This week, especially with all the earnings, Jerome Powell, DeepSeek, a lot of things not on the bingo card for 2025, all came out. But we'll see how we want to close. One more resistance is at 609.66. I do think that's still a pretty bullish close for the month if we could close up in that range, and then obviously anything over that, extremely bullish going into February. So we'll see. But last day of the month, so just make sure you guys know where you're at for your R's in terms of trading. Make sure that you're handling the risk correctly. Don't have to jump aggressively on things. Just it's okay. We have the entire month of February to make some gains as well. So try not to force anything. Just wait for your setups to come in, and if it's there, great. Otherwise, don't be too crazy. Don't get out of your head just because it's the last calendar day of the month. Emily says, "Let's rock last trading day of the month." Yep, absolutely, absolutely. Q's a little bit different, a little bit stronger in the Q's land of the Q's. We got technically a gap and go, so some bears may be trapped on this one. I don't think a heck of a lot of bears, but there is some. Even this one was more of a retest gap, even though it's red, kind of just retested really into this green candle more than anything. High wave indecision. The decision looks like it's been made. We do want to stick bullish. Resistance probably 527.73 if you get past it. I got the next really good one at 529.23. Because this one is technically a retest, we might see a dip first. The SPY definitely opening into some resistance. I have some support, 526.08. I don't think it's the strongest one in the world, but it is there. And I'd see if we come into this 524.87, I think would be a really nice support on Qs. And if we're just having crazy day, options are expiring today. We're not in like quad witching or we don't have the monthlies, but you will have some options expiring. I don't think it's going to be too big of a factor. But you got 521.87 would be the major support that we threw in from yesterday. You don't really want to break that down, but I think some of those prior supports should hold. Does anyone in our team have Team? Yeah, Team reported yesterday, I believe, and I think they crushed it. Yeah, good move on this one. Good move on this one. Nice breakout. Almost a good cup and handle type looking setup on it. You got the earnings to support your move. So 27% beat earnings per share, 3.76 million. Was it million or billion? Million. So 46.67 million surprise to the higher side. So really nice earnings on that one. Let's see. Are we in any type of resistance? We're definitely crushing any bears that might still be hanging in from this one. Sentiment probably is changing for those bears, but I think it has been changing. So I don't know how strong of a gap and go this might be. If it is a gap and go, we'll check that out in a second. Tiny resistance at 330.12. I think you got a much better one coming in from up here. So if you get a bullish push, that still gives you a lot of room, 343 to the upside. Let's see how the sentiment looks from here. Any crazy volume candles? We've been above all the really big short side of things. Um, yeah, had a little inside day, two inside days, nothing too crazy. Has been a lot of buying in it. I don't think I would play this one bullish for me. It's just in one of those weird zones where it's already gapped a lot, but it does still look kind of bullish. If this one pulls back, you might have buy the dip. It has a lot of room if you want to try to play this fade. I got no real volume. Let's check this out on the weekly chart, see if we get any other intel on this stock from that one. But that's a really good gap. I wouldn't expect. I wouldn't want to see a big pullback. Let's put it that way. I don't want to see all those people taking gains when you have technically first first resistance takes us to like 336.79 on a weekly chart. But really good earnings. Really phenomenal earnings. Congrats if you guys are holding team. We will see. Let's see. Capital preservation is the name of the game. Yep, cash is a position. Wild as that might sound. TSLA. Big old Tessie. Well, we had earnings, mild earnings, nothing nothing really crazy. We did have the Elon pump that pushed us up. We came in, we faded. I feel like Tesla's still in this range. It is just all choppy. I am slightly leaning bullish on Tesla. Doesn't mean it's breaking today, doesn't mean anything's happening, and maybe it just goes bearish. I mean, I could be dead wrong on this one. But really good double bottom on this thing. You do have a longer term, I would say, pennant pattern breaking out, and I do have some calls on this one, so full disclosure. But you have pretty much where we opened yesterday. That got us right into this line. The line I just drew is pretty awful, but uh, big bullish pennant pattern. So if we could break, I think yesterday's high, we can start getting above that. That would take us out of number one, that pennant pattern. Number two, obviously a lot of volume came in on this move. We did reverse. We got a nice little tail, a little bit of a wick on that candle. And I think that would be your play. You also have TTM squeeze. You got momentum coming in. You have everything you possibly would like to see on a good breakout candle. The question really becomes when. Well, the other question is if. Maybe we never break out of this candle and we just start breaking down. That is a possibility as well. But for right now, we've been talking about this 395 zone forever. We are right above it. So right pretty close to where we closed at. Still inside from yesterday, but still above this 395 zone. And then all the way down to like even that was a good retest, 390.90. We went a little bit further into that 50. So it might be chopped today. Maybe it doesn't happen, but I would be positioning myself at least for a bullish move. And if it breaks down, just understand how to hedge yourself and maybe flip out of some of those longs. So that's my plan. I'm already in. We haven't broken down yet. On the same note, if we start breaking yesterday's candle to the low side, we give up all that volume. The bears that came in on this one look like they'd be winning, and then maybe that's the time to kind of either flip positions or at least hedge yourself to the downside. But not a lot of edge for today. But watch that 395 zone if we kind of come into it one more time. We will see. We got Nvidia and we got Oracle. Nvidia just started popping Pre-market, so the rest of the market was kind of gapping up. Nvidia struggled today. So not a lot of momentum. Toward the end of the day, there was a little bit. We're hanging out. Looks like this pre-market pop got us right into almost the highs of yesterday after hours. This pop is due to Jensen Huang announcing or putting out some kind of statement, PR, whatever it is, that he will be meeting with President Trump. I don't know the exact date on that, but you tie a little Trumpy to it, and it's going to have a reaction like that. For right now, it does look a little bit S curve. Obviously, I think if we start breaking out of the high, this 124.94 zone, so 125, that would look like probably continuation to the upside. We did get previously up to, I think we got into like this 127, 128 zone. I think that would be your targets for today. So watch it. Looks like it's S curving right now. I don't think this is at least from the news cycle end of it, I don't think this is a 618 or 50% yet. Let's see. Yeah, you got about to the 30, 32. There's some volume there. I think you start breaking down 123.93. You start to lose the volume on your side, even though you have the 50 at 123.67. I think I would be a little bit more curious to be buying this one at the 618, 123.36. That would get me a good, phenomenal risk to reward. My stop would have to go underneath that candle where that news broke, and then I'd try to ride that one bullish, see if you get the Trump effect that kind of lasts a little bit longer. We will see. But good news for them. AMD was also popping kind of on the announcement. So what's good for the goose is good for the gander, I guess. This one has had some interesting relative strength compared to Nvidia for the last couple days. Obviously, longer term, not as much. But you have AMD gapping up, still inside day, slightly above a big resistance. So I would have looked for this resistance around 119.91. We got through it yesterday. Depending on where we open, if we're above that again, we do have a possibility of kind of running this into 120, 145. But on a daily, your 20 EMA is right there. So for better, and unless you're considering like, you know what, I think this 20 could break. I think we get through it. I would have to wait for some kind of a pullback. Maybe we get down to yesterday's VPOC. We called a good bounce spot yesterday. I didn't, the candles didn't even set up. It was just a quick bounce off of it. But if this thing pulls back, I think you're looking for 119.04, see what happens there, and then I think your buy spot really as close as possible to 118.61 if this pulls back. If this opens nice and strong, maybe you're looking for a high wave candle. You're probably going to need a tighter setup on it. And then targets for me would be 121.48. Stretch targets, which are still doable, is 122.78. And that would kind of close up this little previous gap. And then we got so tomorrow's the first, Sunday is the second. So Tuesday earnings for Nvidia. Let's see if they provide any lovely earnings or not. You got they're well positioned for a good bounce if they can make some kind of decent statement during earnings. AMD, I think, at those levels, not bad. We will see. We got Dell is chilling for now. Nothing too crazy. You have little three candles inside day of this candle here. You got a lot of volume on it. I think you really have to get this breakout of 107.97 for confirmation. I would almost act as, and this is a retest gap, if you're going to take a stab at this one. I'll just put an alert down here. If I could get as close as possible, maybe into this 104.68, 104, put it an alert, maybe 105, something like that, just to start looking at it. But if this one wants to retrace, not bad. You had some volume on this red candle, and we got to close above it. You're getting a gap up on this one. I do think probably two resistance would be one, the opening price of this candle, and that's going to be somewhere around 106.64, and then your high end would provide another. So two spots of resistance that I think maybe some targets are at, or some bears might want to try to keep it below. But if you get a retest back into this 104.60 zone, you have your stop maybe below this candle. that might be your opportunity for decent risk reward for a bounce. Even on the way up, you're gonna have that 20 coming in, and you got really good. Your next target would be about 110, 13. So we'll see. TEM, it's being pumped because they said Nancy Pelosi bought it. You bought it at 49. How much do you think it could run? Well, it's if the rumors are true, and I'm not confirming, if Nancy Pelosi got probably six, $700. Yeah, for sure. Yeah, if it's a Pelosi buy, it's just buckle on up there, Andy. Just buckle that seatbelt and go for the ride. You got it at 49, great price. Good price on that one. It is getting pumped. I don't know about today if the Pelosi effect will come into play today. I also don't know because keep in mind all the Pelosi plays was during a Democratic. I don't know. Maybe she had some during the last Trump administration, but she had the golden touch during the Biden era, during Democrat. Now you have Republicans in the House. I don't know. Is this a does she still have it? Is my question. Does she? I mean, it's very. She was a very good investor during the blue administration. So I don't know. I don't know. We'll see how it plays out. You are opening slightly at a resistance, slightly above it actually. You kind of want to stay above 60.28, and then for today, I think 62.91. Past that, 63. Those are all small term targets. So I don't know where you're trying to, what your plan was to get into it, if it was a trade or if it was like long term investment. But we have seen the Pelosi plays move, so I don't know. All time highs obviously would be a pretty good feat, 79.23. I don't really know what Tempest does too, so how they have a great ticker, they have a good name. They have AI right there in the name, so I don't know. You got AI in the name and Pelosi. That's the only thing is if Trump now invests into it too. I think then you get the trifecta. We'll see. Oracle ORCL, and then Elon just tweets about it, and you're like, yeah, okay. Uh, Oracle is maybe really good. How's that for a definite answer of something? It's possibly really, really good if. Well, there's a retest. You got yesterday's support. We're still inside day, so a little pullback into this 170.57. George says perfect answer. It will definitely be selling shares when the bell rings. That is factual. Um, it would look really good for this eventual gap fill. I don't think that happens today. Stretch targets on it would take me to about 178.68. That's gonna put me in a really, really good happy mood, especially if I end up getting into the trade for sure. The one thing I would be concerned about is this last pivot here, 172.09, and then you have 175.35. Even that one is probably not a horrific target. So high wave candle, something like that. Let's move this one higher. I like the amount of room on it. And then again with let's see, did they pop off of Jensen Wong meeting news? Or did only Nvidia and AMD get some love on that one? Yeah, they didn't get any love from Trumpy on that one. So I thought maybe you might get some just because that's the last time they popped is when they had a press conference with Trump. Maybe you get some delayed sympathy reactions. But we'll see. High wave candle, small pullback, as close as possible to like 170.70. I think that would give us our best entry. I don't know where our stop would be, so that's why the high wave candle hammer, something like that would be good. Just to get some kind of day trading stops on it. Otherwise, my real stop on this one, probably the low of yesterday's candle, 163.82, and I don't really think that's going to give me any type of good risk reward on that one. It's a healthcare AI. The healthcare AI is if RFK gets confirmed. Well, technically, you have the Oracle deal. The 500 billion is going to supposed to be for AI for healthcare purpose, so that could actually play into Tempest a little bit. And then I would say the other thing is RFK. I think they don't want, and when I say they, I'm saying probably Congress doesn't want RFK confirmed because he would be more, I think, anti-vax, and obviously that would hurt the pockets of any companies who make faxes. So there was even during his testimony, like I think there was a Republican guy saying, like, yeah, we like you, but I'm on the fence. I got some serious questions where I'm not sure if I'm going to be able to vote for you. And then everything like I think mRNA popped, you have Pfizer pop, like everything was going crazy because now you have a Republican on the fence of like, does he get the vote? So um, we'll see if he gets the nod or not. AVGO, this one's been a wildly weird stock lately. Every day is red from open, but you're still kind of making some progress at least. Decent location for the open. I would act as a little bit more of. I would think this should have been a little bit more of a gap and go, I think, yesterday. With that location, opening above all that volume, you're getting round two on this one, and now you are opening above this. I might play AVGO. The only thing again is, well, a couple things. One would be technically your next resistance. That would take us up into 220.55. We did break through that once. That's a little bit more likely to happen again. And then I think your targets on this one take you to about 223.90. So that's still about $4, something like that to the high side on it. Yep, you saw some clips on it. Yeah, he's we'll see if he gets in there. I don't know. It'll be interesting. But yeah, so some of them are some like I think before it was like Republicans like, yeah, okay, let's go. And then some of his answers I think a little questionable, at least for the Republican portion of things. So he's gonna need obviously the Republican votes to keep going. Google still looks like a bullish hot mess over here. This looks good. Looks like we have a good TTM squeeze. We got momentum starting coming back in. You're gapping to all-time highs. You have earnings, so maybe you got the pre-market or pre-earnings pump. That would be this Tuesday, so same thing as AMD. And then you have the only thing for today, though, you're not outside of this candle from January 21st. Very, very high end of it. But I would expect some kind of pullback into like 250. Otherwise, I think this one has and is knocking on the door of all-time highs for Google. So that would look really good. I'll go high wave candle on that one too, and just cross my fingers and hope for the best. We will see. He says grifters. Leonard says she makes less than 200K a year and is worth 600 million. Yeah, but I don't question where the money comes from. She's a really good investor. Pelosi, she knows what she's doing. She she took a couple Dave Ramsey courses, I think. I don't know, but she really obtained the knowledge fantastically. You got eBay is chilling for this one. I don't know how much edge we got. Really, really nice close yesterday though. I would probably want to stick in that direction. I think your target on this one, your real target, 69.36. I think some resistance probably gets you into like 68.73 for today. So let's see if we can get up into that zone. And then the only other thing that's going to stop us is yesterday's resistance. That would be around 67.75. Inside day, again, usually on inside days, I kind of want to see that pullback. This would be a decently massive pullback, and I don't think I'd really want to see that as a bull. That would take me down to like 66.80. Otherwise, I think a small pullback, 67.30, somewhere in that zone would be decent. Would at least get me some kind of okay risk reward on this one. We will see. The other one that looked good too, and I am in this one. DocuSigns. The only thing on a day trade, it might be a little bit spready, but obviously big sentiment, bullish gap up. We've hung out here for a while. Again, I'm in this thing with some calls. So far today at open looks decent, not horrible. But you're gapping above yesterday's candle. You were a little bit higher on this one earlier, so it is starting to pull back a little bit. Resistance on this one is 97.80, but I think maybe even for a swing trade, something like that, or if you're playing it with some options, it's not a bad looking setup. And you have earnings kind of far away still. I think you got March 6th, so full month of February for people to pump it prior. But right now, I think that one looks decent. Again, for day trade purpose, it might be a little spready. Just we'll see when it opens. I don't really day trade it too much. It kind of has some weird intraday moves, and then just a lot of gaps or weird one candle that that sets up the whole day. So just be careful on it. Let's see what else we got. Coinbase, MSTR. First, let's take a look at Bitcoin. Bitcoin looks like it is trying so hard to be breaking out in a bullish direction again. Some solid resistance on this one around 105, 198. AMD is slowly dying on my other screen, so not sure what's happening on that one. But you got 105, 198, and then you have support at Bitcoin 102,878. So decent amount of resistance for today. Maybe we can break it. I would like to see a pullback first on this one. Take a look at Coinbase. That candle just came in on Amazon. Coinbase, I would say same thing. You've now just came into that last retest zone. Um, I think I'd want to play a retest support on this one, not too far away, 295.61. You start losing that. I think you got room down to like 289.98. So I think a pullback still would be a little bit healthy. Pretty difficult to break out of a previous high without a pullback. So I think I'd be leaning a little bit more to the short side on this one for today as a day trade, not long-term swing or anything like that. Otherwise, I think eventually it does break and we see some higher levels. MSTR, and then we'll take a look at Square. MSTRs, this one's opening at least into a little support. I think if you start to lose this 336.71 zone, and especially if Bitcoin is pulling back, you might see some moves back down to like 319. So I kind of like that one for a potential short. I won't say we're there yet, but potential short on MSTR. XYZ. XYZ is does look good. Good close. You got some resistance. I think your next spot on this one, 95.07. If you get above that one, they might have to then change their name back to Square. We'll see what happens. But good momentum. Everything looks pretty fantastic on it. I think eventually you got 98.38 is some kind of resistance. But other than that, make sure you guys hit that like and subscribe button on YouTube. That is the bell. So we got to wrap it up for the month, the week, the month, the day. It's crazy. You guys are awesome, and I'll catch you guys.